Hola, guapas. I bet you think that I forgot about you, but I haven't. It has just been a busy time in my life and I have a lot going on. And now I am back because I have a lot to say. There was this one thing that I'm like, I gotta tell the ladies about this, but and then that's what I wanted to talk about today. But a couple other things happened. I'm like, I gotta talk about this first. Okay, first of all, I want to tell you the way I started my day today was insane. I had Japanese students that were here for literally 2 days, and I was dropping them off early this morning, and it was dark and rainy, and I was just on my way home, and something happened, which was like a showstopper. Now, I got to tell you a little bit of backstory because I recently got new tires, and I only got them recently because it was summertime, and I kept my winter tires on because I was just, running them out till they died, and they were dead this summer. But I thought, I don't want to get new tires in the summer because I don't need great tires. It never rains. And then as it started to rain near the end of the summer, beginning of fall, I'm like, oh, I need to get these new tires because now I'm having trouble stopping because there's no grip, or starting because I have a standard. So I'm like, damn, I need these tires. So last week I went and got new tires, and it was so crazy because I got all-weather tires, which now it's so quiet in my car because I had my winter tires on before. It's so quiet, and it feels like you have new runners, like cushiony, and you can run faster and jump higher, and the car just handles so good and just drives. It's like I'm driving on air, and I never was a tire person, but this made a difference. It made me super happy. I'm like, this was so worth it. These tires are fantastic. So anyway, I'm driving along with these fabulous new tires, and of course, it's early in the morning, so it's dark and it's raining because that's what happens in Vancouver in the fall. It rains. And I'm going down this little road. Now I go up and down it all the time, and I've called it, what do I call it? Squirrel Alley, because it's really narrow and there's like hill and then there's a downhill. So there's like an embankment, so a sidewalk, and then people's kind of like foundation, or like there's nowhere to go. It's just a sidewalk and that's it. And then on the other side, there is no sidewalk. It's just, oh, you would go over an embankment down a hill into the abyss, and it's windy. And I'm driving down this part, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there is like something in front of my car, and I jam on the brakes. And if I didn't have my new tires, I would be down the embankment, or I would have run into this thing, which just happened to be a huge bear. Literally was, I guess it was checking out the garbage can or something that was on the sidewalk, and it saw me coming with my lights, and it got scared and there was nowhere for it to go, so it decided to run right in front of my car. And because it's brown and black, I didn't see it until it was right in front of my car, and I jammed on my brakes. And because of my new tires, I was able to stop in time, barely. And the guy behind me luckily stopped and didn't run into the back of me. And the bear, ran across the street and shot me a look. And I'm like, this bear was huge. It would have been game over for both of us. Like, it would have ruined both of our day. So I feel like that is, the universe really having my back, because that could have gone a couple of different ways. So I was, needless to say, I was like wide awake. The adrenaline was pumping. But that just makes me think about how in one split second, your whole life can change. Decision, one choice you make. Like, the life we're living is just an accumulation of a whole bunch of choices throughout the day and throughout our lives. That's what our life is. And that kind of a situation is just like, holy, life is precious, and it can change in a heartbeat, and we need to really like live this life to the fullest. And I wanted to share that with you because I don't want us midlife mamas who have so much to offer the world and are so fabulous, and I feel like we rule the world. I really do, because we are the heart of our families, and what we think and see and buy, that's what makes up our communities. And that's why I think we're so powerful, but we don't even know it. I believe we hold all the power, but I want us to not spend midlife hating it or not loving ourselves or struggling. I want us to go out there and just live large. Do all the things that you wanted to do. So on another note, this is the other thing that I just popped into my mind. I'm like, I really want to talk about this. And of course, you guys are my people, so I'm going to share it with you. I've been working out and going for a steam trying to get into a sauna so that I can pull toxins out of my body. And I was in the community center, did my workout, go in for a sauna, and I'm the only girl, and there's like, I don't know, like 8 men in there. Whatever. It doesn't bother me, but these 2 guys come in and they're friends and they're talking, blah, blah, blah. So I'm always surprised when you're in a closed space, and of course nobody was talking because people are zoning out and, you know, trying not to pass out and all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm always surprised how people can just hold a conversation in a small space. Like, it was like being on the bus in Spain again, where people just talk really loud and everybody's involved in the conversation. Anyway, these guys, 2 guys were talking, and of course you can hear, and they were talking about medication for ADHD. And the one guy, so these are like dads, you know, midlife kind of dads, and the one was talking about how his daughter has ADHD, and that's what the new diagnosis, and the doctor wanted to put her on some medication. And he was kind of like, I don't know, because it's a medication. And the other guy was like, well, you know, that's what it's designed for, and I'm on it. And he just started talking about it like, almost like it was candy. And the words that came out of his mouth were like, I was like, no, you didn't. You did not just say that. But I, you know, just sweating out the toxins. Don't say anything, London. Don't say anything. I had to say that in my brain. Don't say anything. And he said, nah, you know, this one it's like Ritalin. He's like, and there's no side effects. And I was like, how can you even say, I guess that, and I'm thinking now, maybe that's what he tells himself so that he's okay taking this drug. And I'm not saying you shouldn't take these drugs, but they were kind of like casually throwing about whether this girl should be on medication because she has ADHD. And I guarantee you that she probably just needs to not be on screens, on her phone, like doing all the things that cause ADHD. Because I myself, I self-diagnose myself as creating ADHD because of social media and scrolling, and that's what it's designed to do. And why is it designed to do that? Because then you go on the drugs, and then any drug is designed for you to be on it for a long period of time, and then they make money off of you. So I really would encourage you to be like, if my child is exhibiting signs of ADHD, I wonder what's causing it and what I could do to help reduce that, or to reduce the stimuli that might be causing that, or look at the environment and come up with options, because we have 1,000 options of things we could do to change our everyday life that we do. Because something like this will have a consequence when it's like every single day I'm scrolling on social media and an ad or a video lasts for 2 seconds. So we're being like primed and trained to have a short attention span. And it just broke my heart that these guys were just kind of casually talking about this. And the one guy is like, yeah, I mean, can't hurt. And he's like, look at me, I'm on it. And then he went on to say, yeah, I notice the days when I don't take it, because I'm like, oh, what's wrong with me? Oh yeah, I didn't take my meds. And I just was so sad and angry and frustrated. And I just wanted to jump in on that conversation, because they're making a decision for this girl for the rest of her life. And all the choices, we're talking about choices, so you have to make a choice for somebody else when you have children, which is so hard as a parent. That's the hardest thing, right? Is like, I'm making a choice for this person that could change their life forever. Anyway, I just want to encourage us to, first of all, really be mindful if there's something going on with us, what we can do. First of all, what we could do ourselves in our daily lives to make a difference. But that really frustrated me that this was the conversation that was being had. And anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, because that really gets me going. But on another note, I'm so happy to be back, and I hope you guys are doing well and had a fabulous summer. And the one thing that I did want to talk about today was this book that has changed my life. And it made me have one choice over here and just flip the opposite 180. Now here's the choice that I've made, and this is the life that I'm living. And it's a powerful choice. Like it has changed my beliefs in a core foundational way. So that's a big thing. And the interesting thing is this book, when I was reading it, going, yeah, I know that. I know this. Yeah, I know all this. So it kind of reaffirmed all the beliefs that I have and things that I feel like I know, but it went even deeper. It gave even more facts and it was even more specific. And then it tied all of these things together. And it was so powerful that every time I read a sentence, I got angrier and angrier because I'm like, I know this, I knew this. Like, how could we let this happen? And this might seem like I'm on a rant, but I'm not. I feel this is normally something that I just keep to myself because I don't want to be one of those people. But I feel at this time in our society, in our existence, it's really important that everybody is aware of what's going on and then you just make your own choices. For me, ignorance is bliss because then you don't have to like make tough choices or be aware of what's really going on so that we can really get lost or use that as a safe place or a shield. That ignorance is bliss. If I don't know, then I don't have to do anything about it. But I feel it's time for me to speak my truth because I've always thought this and felt this, but I've never really talked about it because it's a thing. But I don't want to make it a thing. I want to make it something that everybody talks about. It's mainstream. And this is how, I don't even, like, this book is so big, I don't even know where to start or how to talk about it. But I guess the biggest changes that I've made because of this book are I've gone full carnivore. And I know before I dabbled in it for different reasons. When I came back from Spain, I was like, I was eating all these foods and super healthy. And then my kids are carnivores. And they grew up with me being, your body can heal itself. If it's sick, it just needs, it's toxicity, too much of something, or deficiency, not enough of something. And we get to be, like Sherlock Holmes and figure out what we're missing or what we have too much of. And then we allow our body to get that. And when it's in homeostasis, it will heal itself. And that's what my boys, because they grew up with me teaching them these things, and they feel like carnivore is the best way to do that. And so when I read this book, I'm like, it just confirmed all of the things. And for the past, 30, 35, I don't know how many years I've been plant-based because I believed all of the propaganda that we were being fed. This isn't just a one-off thing. This is like the long game where you want to question everything that you're told, and anything that somebody in a position of power tells you, you want to be like, I'm going to question that. And you want to really hone in and ask yourself, do I believe this? Is this really true? Is this something, why do I believe this? Who told me this? Where did I learn this? I want you to question everything because I'm a perfect example of this. And for my whole adult life believed that plant-based was the best. Why? Because of all the propaganda that they fed us only for their own agenda. And the whole plant-based idea is for an agenda which is not for our best good. When you even look at our food industry, it's designed to make you addicted and sick. And that's connected to the pharmacare industry, or pharmaceutical, I shouldn't say pharmacare, pharmaceutical industry, because they all are owned by the same people. And if you get an illness where you have to, a made up illness that never existed a long time ago, and then you have to take a medication for the rest of your life, well, they are winning. That's the goal. That is the goal. And that's why I was so mad when I heard these dads talking about the daughter going on, this anti-ADHD medication. And it's like, that she's not the problem. This isn't the problem. We want to get to like her environment, her lifestyle, that terrain kind of theory. It's a terrain theory, right? And it's a big topic. And that's why it's hard to talk about because you don't even know where to begin. But after reading this book, I totally am 100% carnivore for many reasons. Right now, I am trying to reduce inflammation in my body. And I believe that the best way to do that is through carnivore. That is how you reduce. It's the lowest anti-inflammatory nutrition plan that you can possibly do. And it goes against everything that I had believed or taught or coached or did myself for the past, I don't know how many years. So it's huge. But the part that a lot of people don't get is that it's all tied into our education, our healthcare, pharmacare, the economy, and nutrition. Like those are all tied together, and they're all being controlled by the same people, because the people that dictate our healthcare are the people that create the drugs, and they're the ones that are teaching our healthcare system, and they're the ones that own the food industry. Like it's all owned by the same people. And so when we have an awakening and understand what's really going on, then we can decide what's really good, best for our bodies. And the only way you'll know, because every body is different. And so I want to be crystal clear on this. I want to say there is no one way is best for everybody, but I do want to say that the only way you're going to be a healthy person, the only way is if you eat whole, clean foods, and you have to decide which family that is that's best for your body. And for me, it's carnivore right now. Carnivore, carnivore, carnivore. Reduce inflammation in my body. And it's working like crazy. It is so powerful and so effective. But I really had to like reprogram my brain in order for me to even start eating meat. Because my brain had been programmed in a certain way where it was like, it was horrible to even think about doing it. And so this is where the propaganda comes in. And it's like, if you are thinking, like, what are you feeling when I'm saying this? And are those your thoughts? Did you come up with those thoughts by rationally, thinking it and placing it and being like, that makes sense? Or are you having a feeling about what I'm saying and questioning, oh, why am I feeling this way? And where did that come from? Are those my thoughts? Is that society? Am I a product of my environment or my society or the propaganda that I've lived with? And I'm talking about propaganda from the food industry, from the government, where they tell you all these things that are good for you, and then it turns out that they're bad for you, but they're making profit from it. And this all ties into mastering midlife, because here's how this all comes together, is because when we go through menopause, midlife, menopause is not a problem. Menopause is not an illness. But over the years, it's become this. Why? Because of all the things we do when we're girls, when we're younger, when we take birth control. And I got to go on record as saying I never took birth control, because I always thought, even when I was young, going on birth control, I'm like, what is this? It's a hormone. And when I put it in my body, I'm changing the hormone structure, the hormone ratio in my body. And that can't be good, because I have these hormones firing and doing these things that they know how to do it. And when I add in something else, it throws everything off. And so women have been on birth control their whole lives, which wrecks their hormonal cascade. It's called a hormonal cascade for a reason, because it's not just one thing. It's not just estrogen. It's a cascade, and one affects the other. And you know what's at the very top of it? Cholesterol. That's where it all starts. And the whole myth that when we're in midlife and estrogen lowering is somehow a bad thing. No, because the estrogen that lowers is actually our reproductive estrogen, which has to do with reproducing. But there's estrogen created in other parts of our body that don't change, and that's what our body uses for other things in estrogen, and that doesn't change. So our body's designed to do what it does. And the reason we have such a hard time with it these days is because of all the hormones we've been using, all the chemicals in our food, in our water, in our air, all the stuff we put on in our skin. Those are all hormone disruptors. And the number one reason is because of the food we're eating. When we're told to eat a high carb diet, that disrupts our hormones like nothing else. And then when we get to menopause, our body is, again, trying to do what it's naturally designed to do, and reconfigure itself, and then it's fine, it runs into problems because of all the interference of all of these man-made problems that we're having. They're all man-made. So I know I've opened a can of worms, and I'm going to leave it at that. But, oh, I got to tell you what book it is. I know you're like, what book? What's the book? What's the book? And you're going to read it or you're going to not read it, and that's totally fine. But if you are thinking you want to read this book, or you're thinking that there's some truth or something resonates with you in what I'm saying, then stick with me, because I'm going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this. But for now, here's the book that I would love for you to be curious about. Maybe read it and see, form your own thoughts and let me know what you think. But there's so much truth packed into this, and it's a game changer. It's going to change your life like it did mine. Fiat Food. You gotta. But I'm telling you, you can't unsee this. You can't unknow this. And like I said before, I knew all of this, but now it's just like laying it all out there, how they're all connected, and it's infuriating. And I implore you, as a midlife mom, I feel like it's our duty to know this. And if you know this and then go ahead and just, make the same decisions, then that's okay. That's totally fine. But if you know this and believe it and then don't make changes, then we got to talk. Okay? Game changer. Fiat Food. Go out there, run out and buy this book, and then let me know. And then let's talk. Okay? Read this and then let's talk. And I have another fabulous book that I read that I'll talk about in my next podcast. So, as always, first of all, I'm so happy to be back. And second of all, thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first, and have an amazing day.